What are your takeaways, just you individually, from this season?
Individually, decent first half of the season. As I said before, this latter half not good enough for many of us, me included. So, wish I could have helped the team more to get points, but it's what it is, and it's going to be something to reflect on.
How much did you enjoy playing in Boston, playing for this team?
Enjoyed a lot. I mean, it's first of all, it's a massive hockey town, and everyone breathes through the hockey, and you can sense that anywhere you go here, and playing at the home rink, it's pretty damn cool. There's just great people here all around.
Joonas, when you think back to the year that you had prior in Ottawa and the year that you had here in Boston, do you look at this as a step forward for you, even though the role is a little bit different?
It's a little step forward, not a massive one. I still think I'm way better than what I showed here. Certainly, sometimes it's not easy, but it's can't control that. But I certainly think I'm better than what I was throughout the year.
As I'm sure everyone always wants to play more. Did you expect to play more? Just kind of how do you reflect on what the playing time wound up being?
I was pretty open-minded getting into the season, and always you just try to put everything you have out there. Make your mark to gain some playing time, but you just do what's best for you every day, and try your best and work hard, and that way you might earn some more playing time. But it's not sometimes not up to me who's going to play more, and whatever role it is, you do the best you can on that role.
You comfortable that this is the role? If Jeremy is pretty established here, are you comfortable being here if this continues to be your role?
Things always change, probably, but end of the day, you want to win, and of course, I don't think there's any goalie in the league who's really comfortable playing 20, 25 games, so I'm going to push for more games for sure, and we'll see what happens. I'll do my best, and we'll see.
When you get this level of work in this, can you grow your game?
My own game?
Yeah.
I think so, for sure. Like I said, I think there's more to be gained. The game changes every year, so does the goalies as well. You got to be better every year. Otherwise, you get left on, and it's a big summer once again. Working on new things, and be absolutely ready when the next season starts, and ready to carry it on all season.
You'll head home now, back to Finland right away?
I'll be sticking around for a little bit, but I'll head home eventually.
And then how soon do you get back into the...
I'll be here early, so early August, something like this.
John, just how you thought your season went and what you can probably do to improve next year?
I think overall, being my first full season in the NHL, I think overall, it went pretty good. A lot of learning curves here and there, but, that was to be expected coming in, and, happy that I was able to, get through my first full season. Obviously not the outcome we wanted as a group, but, something that we can, learn from and build towards for next year.
What parts of your game do you think you can improve going forward?
Definitely the offensive side of things. Looking back on the season, I think there's, a lot of chances to, just bear down a little bit harder and, contribute more, on the score sheet, just doing things like, carrying pucks to the neutral zone, using my speed a little bit more, testing D wide, and, then just also, keep using, my strengths, just, continuing to, try and win draws in the D zone, staying dialed in on, the penalty kill and all that thing, and, keep trying to build.
How much of that do you feel like is related to just having more offensive confidence, at this level, and seeing the puck go in a little bit and that sort of breathing that confidence?
100%. If you go through a little stretch where the puck's not going to the net, you're definitely going to grip your stick a little bit harder, and then it makes it even tougher to score some goals. So I think it's just a matter of continuing to grow and work on my game and just kind of gain that confidence and know you have the ability to go out there and try and change the game. So a lot of things that I can work on moving forward this summer, and I'm excited to get to work.
John, have you had any conversations about an extension yet?
I haven't really talked to Sweens too much about anything. That's something that him and my agent can discuss for the next couple weeks or couple months moving forward. Hopefully something can get done sooner rather than later, and kind of put that behind us, and just get ready to come back next year and try and make a run for the playoffs.
Big fan of the Celtics.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you catch any of the games?
I didn't catch any of the games this year. I was able to go to a game last year and sat courtside and everything, and it was super fun. So best of luck to them moving forward this year, and hopefully they can go back to back.
What's the offseason going to look like for you?
I got a couple things I got to get done to the start of the summer, and then try and get back and just probably be around here for most of it. Just working out with the staff here and hanging out with some of the guys, and nothing too crazy.
What are your takeaways individually just from the season as a whole?
Yeah, it was, for myself, tough season, and just didn't get off to a great start with injury and stuff, and kind of was chasing it for a long time, and it was just snowballing from there, and it was not great.
Did you feel like the last few months, there were things to build on for next year? Did you kind of feel like you found a foothold to build on for next year?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously, like I said, it's was chasing it for a long time there. Couldn't do too much on the ice or off the ice, and felt like I was behind, and try to get back in shape to play on a high level, but felt like I was behind for a long time. But definitely at the end, start feeling better and start playing better. So yeah.
Do you feel like you understood better how to play with David?
Yeah. Obviously, played some games here and there, but no. Obviously, you sit there and watch, and you kind of understand what he likes to do out there, and obviously it was fun to watch him this year, and to see a top player like that to perform and help our team for a long time. It was, it was impressive. But it was fun to play with him at the end there.
Yeah. How much value do you put into what you were able to do in those last 15 games or whatever?
No, it was obviously for myself. It was something to kind of put in the back pocket and build off and try to improve the summer and come back and hopefully have a better camp, be healthy and start off on kind of where I left and help this team to play next year in a couple days.
Did the contracts play any role in just putting pressure on yourself or sort of feeling pressure, when things started to not go well at the beginning of the season? Do you feel like that had any factor to do whatsoever with it?
Main reason was probably that I got injured. But yeah, definitely you sign a big contract, you want to perform and deliver, and obviously it's been a a lot of successful years here, and obviously this year not as successful. So you kind of put a lot of blame on yourself when you're here to kind of improve the team, and it went the other way. So yeah, it's definitely some pressure, but it's for everyone. But the main reason was probably injury, I would say.
How high is the motivation level just this off season and going into next year, just given how you obviously feel about how the season went?
No, it's always high. Like obviously, it's going to be higher now when we start watching the playoffs. The fun starts right now, and not going to be there, so it's that sucks. But when you get to watch the playoffs games, the motivation is going to be real high.
You wore a letter at one point earlier in your career. Do you come in planning to kind of, as now an older guy on this team, especially with people that have left, do you think of yourself as a leader going into next year?
Yeah, I think obviously been around for some time. There's obviously steps to take. I'm probably not the most vocal guy, but try to do other stuff. And yeah, there's definitely room for me to improve in that area. But no, I feel like I'm one of the leaders for sure.
On a one-on-one basis, are you somebody, would you call a free agent and you were a guy that just kind of went through that? Would you be somebody to try to help make that pitch?
I mean, if there's someone that can help our team, definitely I'll pitch in and make a good pitch. But no, we'll see. We'll see. It's still a long way from here, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What does the offseason look like for you? Are you staying around here?
Yeah, we're gonna be here for another week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah, so we'll head home to Sweden after that. Yeah.
Team wide, why do you think things just didn't work out? Do you put your finger on a couple of different reasons why things just didn't go as well as you expected them to?
It's hard to just put the finger on it, but I think, like I said, for myself, obviously, was struggling in the beginning, and once one of your top players, I think we're all struggling a little bit in the beginning, couldn't find our game, and then stuff with coaching change and stuff like that. There was a lot of things going on. I think that could affect a little bit, but in the beginning, for myself, I wasn't good enough, and I think a lot of guys could probably say the same thing. So overall, we got to be better at the start of the year next year.
You mentioned when you signed here that culture was a big reason. You like the consistency this organization has had over the years. How do you feel about that going into the offseason now after the year you guys have just had?
Yeah, I mean, you're like I said, I signed this big deal and want to be a part of this, and we kind of failed, and obviously I look at it, it was I'll take a lot of responsibility for that, but yeah, we're probably going to see a lot of things change this summer, and hopefully we can start building again what they built for a long time here, and hopefully we can one day that I'm here bring a cup to the fans here.
What are your expectations for yourself next season?
I mean, obviously, I would want to be better. Want to be a player that I've been before, and but the main goal is to win. I think that's you get up to age and you don't have too many chances. So main goal is to win. So but first we got to get into playoffs next year.
How's your confidence?
I think it's fine.
Will the injury and the build-back time cause you to change anything this offseason? I know you can't plan around an injury, but in terms of training, prep?
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't thought about it too much, but no, there's definitely be some things that I can change and improve on. So yeah, we'll see. Once I get home, I'll take a couple of weeks off and go from there.
Do you have any plans to go to Worlds, or have you been contacted about that? Or
I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's starts in a couple of weeks, so I'm gonna take a week and a half here, and then we'll see.
Elias, what was your injury, Ken?
What was my injury? I had some back problems, which was, haven't had, stuff like that where you couldn't work out or skate. So it was just felt that I was behind. So it was not an ideal injury.
Did that happen before camp, during camp?
Yeah, it happened early August. Yeah.
Did you feel for the most part healthy throughout the season?
You never. You play 82 games, so I think a couple games you feel pretty good. But other than that, everyone's banged up. So yeah, I felt pretty good.
How do you feel now?
Feel good.
Morgan, obviously the season didn't go the way the team wanted, but do you individually, feel like as good as you have as an NHL?
Yeah, I mean, production-wise, I think I took a few steps this year, and obviously it wasn't the start that the team wanted or I wanted personally, but I'm proud of myself for the way that things kind of came about, and I can't thank the organization enough for just kind of sticking with me through that, and just closing out the year the way we did. I think we played a few strong games towards the end, and it's something we can definitely build on for next year.
Do you think there's anything in the offseason you can do to prevent a slow start?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it a lot then. I'll be thinking about it a lot, heading into the summer. Maybe a little less, traveling. I thought about it, I was like, I drive here in the summer, it's a long drive. It's like maybe that weighs on you more than you think. Maybe you get on the ice too early or too late. There's a lot of things that I think played into it. I don't think it was one thing. I came in physically, in the best shape that I've been in a long time, and it was just one of those things where I couldn't get going, and I think a lot of things compounded, especially with the way we were losing games, and mentally, physically, things just weren't adding up. So it's definitely something I'll think about in the next week or two, and I'm definitely not going to change too much. Just try to get my foot on the gas a little earlier this time.
Does that make, in a way, arbitration, nobody likes the idea of it, but does that make doing that and getting it done so you're on the ice for the entirety of training camp, is that part of what weighs into it if you're trying to get off to a good start?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to we hope it doesn't come to that. Obviously, nobody wants to go to arbitration, and it's not a fun time for anybody. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to prepare like I'm going to be at training camp day one, and it's not something I'm going to give too much thought about. I mean, I'll leave it up to my agent and Don and Cam, and I'll just go about my business, and things will play out the way they're going to play out. I love playing in Boston. My family loves it here, and it's one of those things that I really hope works out, and we'll just see where it goes.
Morgan, what's the most important thing for you on the next deal? Is it term? Is it security? Knowing that you're not going to be on the move in, say, 1 or 2 years from now?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can stick around, like I said, I love it here, and I'd love to be here as long as I can. So that's definitely a goal. But especially with a family now, and being able to be in one spot would be awesome. But like I said, it's a business at the end of the day, and people are going to have their opinions, and they're going to decide what they want to decide. But if it was up to me, I'd love to stay as long as I can, and I can't say enough about good things about the organization and the guys and the culture here. So definitely I would love to stay for as long as I could.
Morgan, considering I've talked to a lot of former players about leadership in a room, and there are several factors, one of them being age and experience, the other one being performance. If you're playing really well on the ice, the voice is a little different in the room. Considering your performance this season and the need for leadership in this room, if you re-sign, do you consider kind of taking a bigger role in that next season?
Yeah, I mean, we lost a lot of huge leaders in this room that were very prominent for a long time, and it seems like I've only been here a couple years, but I feel like with the guys we have and the young guys coming up, there's definitely a role I can play in the leadership department. But yeah, it's one of those things I think kind of comes naturally, and if that's how things play out, that I come into that role, I'll embrace it as much as I can, and I'm more than happy to do it. I think there's a lot of good friendships that I formed in here, and that's something that will definitely be important down the road. And I think the leadership group we have now is great, and anytime you can kind of add different facets to that, and you can kind of talk to anybody you need for anything is definitely important for the team for sure.
When you look at the growth since you arrived here, I mean, what do you sort of see in that entirety of the span for you?
When I came here, it was right after the President's season and everything, and I kind of came here wanting to play for the best team in the league, and just the culture that they had, and I think everybody views the Bruins differently than every other team, just with how they've done things for so long. And I never imagined I'd be having the season I'm having, but I definitely had the confidence to know that I could grow my game here in both facets, defensively and offensively. And this year, I think I turned a corner. I played with Dave a lot, and we grew some good chemistry together. And I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from Pav and Lindy, just playing with those guys that have been here for a while. And yeah, I know I could have done it. I never would have imagined that's how it would play out here, but you know, I wouldn't change anything. And obviously, I wish we were in the playoffs and wish things went a little bit differently this year, as does everybody else in the room. But yeah, you know, I'm still looking to keep taking steps in my game. I know there's a lot of things I can improve on, and whether it be offensively or defensively, I'm just looking to, you know, improve my game on both sides of the puck.
You mentioned the culture in Boston. When all the changes happened at the trade deadline, did the culture shift at all, or was it just business as usual?
It's always tough when you lose guys of that caliber. Like I said earlier, I think the culture itself maybe didn't change. I just think, you know, there was a little bit of, I mean, shell shock, I guess, when you trade your captain in that. And those decisions, you know, were just tough decisions, and unfortunately maybe had to be made, especially the position we're in. And it always sucks when you're losing guys coming into the deadline, because normally that means you're not in the spot that you should be. And it's tough having C-Mac and Lindy out, you know, for most of the year too. So I don't think there was a culture shift or change. It's just like one of those things. We had different guys step into roles that were filled by others, and Dave did a great job of that. And C-Mac and Lindy, even though they weren't with us on the ice, were you know, a loud voice in the room when we had guys step up all throughout the locker room. So it's just one of those things, you know, with time, things are going to change. They're going to have to change. And as unfortunate or fortunate as it is, I think that's what's going to happen. And, you know, I like where we're trending. You know, Dave and Lindy and the guys I've mentioned before are great leaders, and, you know, are definitely going to, you know, take the reins and, you know, keep the culture the way it is and, you know, grow the way we need to grow.
Did the vocal side of David's leadership surprise anybody? That didn't. He was never talked about that way before, and it seemed like since then people were impressed by it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, you know, I'm friends with Dave off the ice, and you kind of see that he leads. He definitely leads more behind the scenes, and you see what he brings to the table, obviously on the ice. But I mean, guys leaving and all the change of face and that and the situation we were in, I think you saw that come out a lot, and I'm sure you guys saw it a little bit more too. But it was great. I mean, someone needs to take that step, and I think he kind of did that, especially with Charlie being out and Hampus. So I think that's something that we definitely, you know, didn't take for granted, I think, and he definitely was, you know, the leading charge towards the end of the year. It's like somebody's got to step up, and being the longest tenured guy and our best player, it's you know, it's something that we definitely appreciated, and I think you saw the growth in him as a leader, you know, vocally, especially at that point.
Does your confidence level change once you've scored 30 goals in this league? I mean, do you feel like your confidence level is at the highest maybe it's ever been, just coming off the numbers in the season that you had?
I think my game's in a great spot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good confidence-wise for sure, and I think for me, just continuing to grow, it's like I think every player in here scores 10, they want 20, score 20, want 30, and it's just one of those things where it's like I know there's, you know, 30 is a great accomplishment, but I think, you know, for me as a player, there's always the urge to do more, and whether the urge is, you know, scoring 40 goals or it's, you know, being able to take faceoffs as a centerman and play that role for the team. I think the goal at the end of the year is to win the Stanley Cup, and I think anything other than that at this point is a failure for sure. So I think with a storied franchise like this, it's not about the individual accomplishments as much as it is, you know, the team game. And you see the accomplishments that guys have had in here throughout, you know, the last couple of years, and I'm sure they traded all, you know, for a chance to win the Cup. So it's one of those things where, you know, I'm always going to strive to get better, but I think that's a secondary goal at this point for sure.
The other night you were talking about believing in your shot more, using it more, scoring with it more. Obviously, does that give you the conviction you can come back and do 30 again, 35?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people thought it was a fluke maybe. I know my shooting percentage is higher than normal. I mean, I think that's more of a high-quality shot thing. I think I have the asset to shoot the puck as well as I do, and I think up until this year I was a little hesitant to use it, especially playing with guys that, you know, you're normally used to deferring to, and it's tough not to pass to Dave most times. But I mean, he's made it super easy for me to be able to be in the position to take shots and then to have the confidence to shoot the puck and not be afraid to take that next step when it comes to those opportunities. I think for me, it's like, what else can I add to that? Whether it's more playmaking abilities, things like that. So just adding more, but I don't think it's something that's a one and done. I believe in myself and that it's something I can replicate. And yeah, I'm not going to put too much pressure on it and just try to keep growing my game.
You were talking about coming here 2 years ago. When you came here 2 years ago, the slot for you was sort of support in the bottom six center. 2 years later, you're leaving, you're playing top line on your off wing. What does it tell you about plans, and what does it tell you about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always been somebody, or I was always taught that there's guys in this league that have stayed in here for a long time, being able to do one thing really well, and I think there's something to say to somebody that can do everything pretty well. And I may not be good at one thing specifically, but I think being able to plug and play wherever that may be is an asset. And as like if I end up on the fourth line next year and that's the role that I'm going to have, I'm going to try to do that the best of my ability and just try to impact the game as much as I can there. And I think that my game has grown a lot, and I was given the opportunity to play with Dave, and we had a lot of fun this year, and I think I learned a lot from him, and just being able to keep growing it. So I think there's still steps to be taken, but I like where my game's trending.
Morgan, more of a personal question, but often when like a player has the surgery you did, or an actor gets a big role in a movie, they hear from people they haven't heard from in a long time. Anyone reach out to you that an old teacher or a neighbor or someone, an old coach or something?
No, I mean, I'm from a really small town, and we're still pretty close with a lot of the people that we deal with. I mean, you go to the community center, you go to the bar, there's the same 15 people there, and they still talk to my parents every day. So nobody really, I mean, the kids I still went to high school with, there's not a lot of them. So no, I mean, nobody really. I think that just speaks to the small, tight-knit community of rural Manitoba that you don't get to experience a lot. But I mean, those people have been through by my side through thick and thin, and they didn't care if I scored 1 goal or 30 goals. So it's one of those things that you get to go home, and I'll go to my parents' house and people will stop by, and you kind of get to just share the moment with them, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am without them. So I remember going to the rink, my dad had keys, but it's the same 20 people that are there all the time. So you definitely, I definitely cherish and appreciate all the support that they've given me.
That's nice, thank you.
You'll drive tomorrow?
Drive?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna drive at the end of the month. Yeah. So I think we're gonna go down to Tampa. Hopefully, I'll see my brother. Yeah. So, but yeah, it'll be a good trip, and then me and my dog will make the long drive home.
He must be wired.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's excited. It's always playoffs are the best time of year, and as unfortunate as I'm excited for him, and wish it was us, but I'll be cheering for him for sure.